You know, guys, I can't really say I'm surprised by what's going on right now with Call of Duty and with Sledgehammer Games and Activision and all these sales numbers and all these achievements about player retention and time played in the game. And to be completely honest, at least from my perspective, this portion of the news is good news. But as you guys know, wherever there's good news in Call of Duty, there is always that downside. We talk about it all the time on this channel. We have one little sliver of decency, and the implications that it comes with are usually fucking terrible, and today's no different. You know, this comes out from Charlie Intel. He says, Activision says Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3 has set records for the highest player engagement out of the current Modern Warfare trilogy, and Modern Warfare Zombies is the most played co-op mode in Modern Warfare history. I mean, you go into their statement and they have a lot to say about player retention and the time played, which I find to be good news because I would rather take this statistic as an achievement over any sort of talk about sales, any sort of talk about numbers with money involved, with microtransactions and bullshit like that that's been plaguing this franchise since MW 2019. So this sort of statistic is something that I have personally not seen in quite some time. But then that really makes you wonder, why exactly have they not talked about the sales of this game? Because you remember last year, and the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that, all Activision seemed to talk about were the sales, were the milestones they hit in terms of revenue, in terms of money, the business aspect of it. MW 2019, the fastest selling COD of all time. Cold War, fastest selling COD of all time digitally, which I think is fucking stupid, but oh well. Vanguard, they're talking about the highest microtransaction revenue in COD history. MW 2019 Part 2, $1 billion in a week or some shit like that, just for that game to fall flat on its face. And you know what? Actually, hold on. I remember making a video about that specifically, because if you're Activision and Infinity Ward and all these other COD devs, you assume that is the formula to make a good Call of Duty game. Not to go for the retention, not to go for the player count, not to go for quality, you're going for sales. And people told me I was tripping, and look what happens after. MW 2019 Part 3 was supposed to be a DLC, it was supposed to be an expansion. This is fact, this is not opinion. If you want to cry in the comments, go ahead and wipe your tears with that dollar that you're giving me by viewing this video, you fat fuck. The fact of the matter is, that's what this game was intended to be. And when you think about the sheer laziness that went into this game's creation, and the mere existence of this game being off the back of just trying to sell an expanded DLC for MW 2019 Part 2, it's no surprise that a lot of people did not want to pick up this game. I mean, you tell me there's a $70 expansion pack that got scrapped and turned into something completely different, and you're charging me $70 for it, people aren't going to buy this game, and if they wanted to play it, they're going to find ways to play it without purchasing it, which is exactly what the Scatmaster did. There's gotta be a pretty decent percentage of people that did not actually buy this shit. There are methods to play this game without purchasing it all over the fucking place. So this statistic of people actually playing the game for longer amounts of time, when this is just a patched, edited version of the last game, it makes complete sense that that exists, yet the sales are not there. And of course, when something like that happens, Activision are ones to think, you know what, if the sales aren't there, this game must be a colossal fucking failure. And I'm here to tell you right now, as the Scatmaster, I would never steer you guys in the wrong direction. I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, if the multiplayer experience were free to play, it would be one of the most best received Call of Duties of all fucking time. And yes, no matter which way you want to spin this, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're charging money for this shit when it's literally an updated, patched version of the last shit that we played. It's a version of last year's COD, except the developers are actually listening to feedback and they're not a bunch of deadbeat, brain dead morons over at fucking Infinity Ward. And on top of that, when you advertise your game to literally just be that, a fucking patch, then it's no wonder that people are not interested in actually buying the game. You could say, yeah, there was so much hype about this game and all the nostalgia and all that shit. You know how nostalgia baiting works, okay? Let's not fucking lie. You know that had this game actually had original maps and they said some bullshit like, oh, there's only 8 original maps at launch, you know the sales would be even worse. But the fact that we have 16 MW2 remastered maps, of course that draws people's interest. But it's simply not enough to get somebody to buy the shit nowadays when you're literally marketing your shit as update. And that's quite literally what it is. I don't care if you disagree, that's a fucking fact. And then the gooch lickers start crying with shit like this. Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3 is the best COD multiplayer we've had in years, but somehow is also the worst reviewed Call of Duty game of all time. I don't understand it, especially when you compare scores to some of the other games like Vanguard. Well, what goes into people's reviews is the lackluster campaign that was like 2.5 hours long, and the fact that the multiplayer, I've said it before and I'll continue to say it, it's just a faster paced, better running game than MW 2019 Part 2. If you hop in the MW 2019 Part 2 playlist, it is genuinely the exact same shit, just faster. You could literally not tell the difference. If I went back to one of my old gameplays on fucking Mercado and I put the speed at 1.5 and put it right next to MW 2019 Part 3 on Mercado, it's the same fucking shit. So it's no wonder the reviews are bad. It's no wonder not enough sales went into this game. And that in and of itself is terrible news, because now Activision could look at this and who knows, maybe Microsoft looks at it the same fucking way. You know how these corporations work, it's all about money. I don't give a fuck if Microsoft was ran by my fucking grandmother. If it's about money, it's about money. And if this game utterly failed in terms of money compared to the last few titles, then there's gonna be a difference in the next Call of Duty and the Call of Duty after that. And why exactly is that bad? It's because this game actually feels okay. Guys, you've heard me say for years, this game sucks, this game blows cock, this game can eat my fucking granddad's ass from the back. You've heard me say it all to describe these games. MW 2019 to the present day have been some of the worst Call of Duty multiplayer experiences that I've ever fucking had. But MW 2019 Part 3, being an edited version of something that Infinity Ward concocted last year that had potential, and now you're simply unlocking some of that potential. Not all of it, definitely not all of it. This game still has a bunch of issues. When you start unlocking some of that potential, and you start receiving some of the feedback better, and you actually start working on fixing the game, guess what you get? You get a better product. The people that are playing the game have better experiences, and what does that equate to? More time played. And whether or not you want to admit the whole thing about this game being an expansion or a DLC or a patch or an update, the proof is in the fucking pudding, guys. I mean, you can look at it, you can spin it any which way you want. If this game were free to play, or if it were simply not $70 fucking dollars, I guarantee you there would be so many more people playing the game. Somebody responded to that Doug Dimmadome Warzone tweet from earlier. He says, I don't know, but I think we need an option for buying mods or packs separately. For example, the full packs of everything would cost $70. But if you wanted only campaign, it's $14.99. Only zombies, $19.99. Only multiplayer, $34.99. You understand there are so many different ways to fix this issue about sales in this game that's actually fairly decent. It's genuinely not fucking quantum physics, okay? Like, you can separate the packs. I'm not playing campaign. You can miss me with $20 fucking dollars going to that, first of all. Zombies, I don't know, give it like 15 bucks. That's okay. Multiplayer, he says it should be $35. I disagree. I think it should be like 20 bucks max, if anything. And honestly, it should be fucking free from my opinion. And I would tell you right now, if this shit were free to play, so many more people would spend more time playing it as well. And on top of that, this is from first-hand experience as somebody who is playing this game for fucking free. I am enjoying my time so much more, and I genuinely attribute that to the fact that I didn't spend a dime. Because even if I'm having a terrible experience, I could simply uninstall this shit and not have lost money. And before you want to make this whole broke boy argument bullshit, alright you fucking Pokimane simp bitch, listen up. If I genuinely wanted to, every single video that I've made since the inception of MW 2019 Part 3, so not even that long ago, I guarantee you I could buy multiple fucking copies of MW 2019 Part 3. I could donate the shit if I fucking wanted to, but guess what? I'm not fucking doing that. You know why? Because the last 5 fucking experiences that I had prior to this made me lose faith in the fucking franchise. Even if this game were one of the best Call of Duties that I've ever played in my entire goddamn life, which even though I'm saying I enjoy my experiences sometimes, that's still not what this fucking game is. It still doesn't crack the top 5, not even fucking close. But you've been the closest you've been in the last 5 years. But that's after 4 years of utter bullshit, of utter garbage. Which, by the way, also explains the low sales. You just fed us dog shit for the last 4 years. What makes you think I'd come back to your restaurant? Guys, the explanations are everywhere. I don't understand how some people don't understand. If this is about money and sales, guess what? If people are playing this shit for free, the likelihood that they spend money on microtransactions after enjoying their experience is so much higher. This is common sense. This isn't like, oh, well, we don't know how it would work in business practice. No, motherfucker, I saved $70 off not purchasing this shit. Maybe I'd use $10 to go buy this blueprint. There you fucking go, microtransaction. What I truly do not want to happen is for Activision or Microsoft to look at MW 2019 Part 3 and say some bullshit like, look, they listened to the feedback, they did X, Y, and Z for the development of this game, and it didn't result in sales. So therefore, in the next Call of Duty, or maybe not the next Call of Duty, maybe in MW 2019 Part fucking 4, they say some bullshit like, you know what, Sledgehammer tried doing this and that, Infinity Ward, do the opposite, because clearly they didn't get any sales. If that happens, that is a step in the wrong direction. That's a step backwards. You should continue the type of development that went into this game in terms of actually listening to feedback. And I'm not trying to say this game deserves to be one of the best selling Call of Duties of all time. It definitely fucking doesn't. It's an expansion pack, it's a patch. But if anything, this shows us for the first time, sales should not matter as much as they do, and if the shit went free to play, sales would literally be out of the picture, and maybe we'd start focusing on quality. And I'm not saying to follow this formula with MW 2019 Part 3, no, please don't do that, okay? Like, actually come up with original shit, just make it good, use common sense when developing it, not like fucking Infinity Ward, and make it free to play. I guarantee you Call of Duty would flourish so much more, by a significant margin as well. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. Do you think it's good or bad that the sales were not mentioned for this game? And do you think this game should be free to play and not $70 fucking dollars? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos. And yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles.
This ain't in my body.